Hey, welcome to Steph's World. The world, according to Steph, uh, love and light, truth, and I'm pretty sure it's 20. It's been a while since I've done one of these, okay? I apologize. I apologize profoundly because I over and over tell myself, well, today we're going to do one. And then today goes by and I didn't do it. Well, today I'm doing one. Now, if you hear children in the background, those are my neighbors. Um, I built this little, beautiful little room, and it's about the size of a patio, only a little bit bigger. And it's full of beautiful, comfortable couches and a swivel chair for fun kids that like to have fun in here. And it even has a toy box for children and adults who like to play. I even bought a leapfrog thing in case some of my young friends who have children come over and they can have their children learn to do leapfrog. Leapfrog is great. I did that with my grandchildren when they were little. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, you know what? Look what forgot to put back on. I have to take it off at times because leaving it on all the time makes my arm lose muscle mass. Can you see that? It makes it lose muscle mass. So, as a result, I do take it off at times and leave it off for a certain amount of time, but then it becomes extremely painful, and so I put it back on. I have talked about this, and I'm going to mention it because this particular video I'm planning to put in one of my communities on Google Plus too. I am extremely disabled, and I know I use the word extremely, but it is very true. As a matter of fact, I had the notes of one of my neurosurgeons sent to me, and he was the one that said that I should be dead right now. I shouldn't be here talking to you. So, to me, that's a miracle. That's not just happenstance, that's a miracle. It doesn't just happen. There's a reason for it. And I believe that. I can't explain why. I'm not, I'm not God. I'm not my creator. But I do know that there was apparently a reason why I did not die when I had that brain aneurysm. Now, the problem is that I am having serious repercussions probably from that. And I have seizures, pretty bad ones. And uh, sometimes I can have them 3 in a night. And last night I almost chewed off a chunk of my tongue. Yep, it was pretty rough, let me tell you. And it only lasts a few minutes. But the damage that it does is beyond words. I've taken lots of pictures of it for the doctors. Now, where I live, I make a little joke about it. I call it the land of the vacation doctors, okay? Because it's beautiful down here. It really is. And truthfully, we do have some doctors down here that, I'm sorry, I've had some serious discussions with them about, our patient-doctor relationship, and I have my reasons for it, trust me. Although I have a fabulous, fabulous doctor that I go to every month, and he makes sure that, I'm functioning properly. But anyway, when I was 18, my neck was broken by my first husband. And then, and here, they knew it was broken. It didn't break the spinal cord, thank God. But it tore up and broke a whole bunch of my vertebrae. A whole bunch. Now, and that was many, many years ago. I was 18 years old when I got married the first time, and I'm 60 now. And it'll be coming up on 43 years pretty soon in November. That's a long time. And I waited a very long time before I said, Uncle, Uncle, because that's what we used to say when we were kids, like when you finally give up. Uncle, Uncle. I played with boys. I was a tomboy, believe me. But anyway, he was very brutal, and he almost killed me. And I will not go into it any further than that, just to say that, okay? And then, when I turned 40 years old, I broke my back. No, actually, I was getting ready to turn 41, but I broke my back. Fell in the front yard, and I went up and down, and kind of like a cartoon. And unfortunately, it broke right in half. And just below where the spinal cord hits bottom. Just below that. Although, unfortunately, it caused me tremendous problems. And from that time forward, Steph was never the same from that time forward. So, I'm just giving you a little background. And then I had the brain aneurysm, let's see, about 2008. And they put 4 titanium stents in and coils. And it was pretty serious. I know it was serious because I had to go to the emergency room after the surgery numerous times, at least for 2 weeks afterwards I did. But anyway, I had the surgery done at where I thought was the most reliable and best place where I lived. And I didn't have much time. I had to get it done. I had passed out at the wheel of my car and was in a terrible accident because of the aneurysm. I had passed out. And fortunately, nobody was hurt, although I totaled my brand new car. And that was kind of sad. I was without a car for a while, but I was afraid to drive. I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what. And that was what we were doing. We were trying to find out what was wrong with Steph. Okay, so when they found the aneurysm, it was almost like, move, move, move. We got to get this woman under the knife as quick as we can, because it was a big one. It wasn't as big as some of them get, but it was enough to kill me. That's what I was told. Plenty to kill me. And sadly, it has left a lot of other problems behind, like the seizures. And I get those every single day and night. And as time goes on, they get worse. So, fortunately, I don't believe they've ever just, whoop, come on, like, I'll be sitting here and suddenly I'm in a seizure. Usually it's when I'm relaxed and I'm maybe watching a TV show, and that's happened. Or generally it happens at night when I go to bed. That's generally when it happens. Now, I have hurt my feet so badly that what little walking I can do, even with my canes, um, my feet hurt so bad I can barely walk on them. I can barely put any pressure on them at all. And I'm probably going to have to start massaging them and doing something, because if I don't, I don't know. I just feel like I need to do something, because like with my legs, I massage them and I work them out. I make sure I keep my muscle mass in good shape. When you are to the point where you have to use a wheelchair, such as I do, now I don't use it continuously, but I use it enough. You have to keep your body, you have to do things to keep your body in good shape. And so I do. I do a lot of muscle exercises with my legs. I do certain things that I'm not here to show you, but it's just part of the routine. My doctor checks me every time I go in and see him, making sure that, I'm really okay. And he doesn't want me to get the skinny leg look, or the skinny arm look. But anyway, let's get on with it. Pretty much the broken back, my back is broken again. That happened purely on its own. The fusions failed, and there's 5 levels in your lumbar. 2 or 3 of mine were fused, something like that. And the other 2 are gone. Just see ya. Don't want to be ya. They're gone. And I have x-rays. I even put them online at one point. But there's really not much they can do. At least, not for me. I'm tired of it. I'm done. I've had enough operations. Don't want any more, please. My doctor wants me to go to the Mayo. I'm going to go to the Mayo, but it's going to be in my time. And probably not until next fall. So, if you pray, I just ask you to keep me in your prayers. God's will for me. Don't do any kind of special kind of prayers, please. God's will for Steph. That's all. That's all I want you to do, please. Okay? Love and light to you if you do that. I really appreciate it. I've had some pretty rough times lately. Things are getting a little tougher. Okay. what are we going to talk about? Well, the last time we talked about love and light and the fact that light is within us. You know, that we're just the husk, really. And that we're full of light. Everybody is. And I don't care what you've done in your life. That's this life. You still are light. You know, some might say, well, what about people in prison or, you know, a mass murder or whatever, whatever. Were they ever a baby? Yeah, they were. So what does that mean? That means that they were innocent at one point in time in their lives. They are light, just like anybody else. You know, I have family members that have done terrible things, but I have forgiven them. You have to forgive. You know, it's not for them. They probably don't care. It's for you. If you don't forgive somebody, you're going to regret it. It's going to haunt you. And you may not think so. But just go ahead, live your life, and don't forgive. See what happens. Now, the good news is I found the steps to forgiveness. How about that? Let's see if we can get there. Because I've been talking about it. There are 4 stages of forgiveness. Okay. Number 1, to forgo. That means to leave it alone. To forgo. To leave it alone. Number 2, to forbear. To abstain from punishing. Don't punish yourself. Don't punish the other person. Don't do that. Okay? To abstain from punishing. Alright? Number 3, to forget. To avert from memory. To refuse to dwell. And number 4, to forgive. To abandon the debt. You know, it takes a while to do all this. It really does. It's not as simple as you might think. And also, there's something else about this that I wanted to tell you. The important part of forgiveness is to begin and to continue. You can't say, I forgive somebody, and then a few years later, something happens in your life that suddenly it comes up, or maybe they did it again, but not to you. So all of a sudden, you stop forgiving them. Remember, we're forgetting the debt. We're abandoning the debt. Forgive and forget. Okay, so, you know, I'm so glad I found this. Also, I love this. I learned how to do this from a really cool book. It's called Women Who Run with Wolves, with the Wolves. And it's really geared towards women, but men should read it too. I really suggest that you get it and you read it. And believe me, It's not that easy to read. It's pretty tough at times. But I made a lot of notes out of it because it is fabulous. Now, one of the notes was, here's something that she wrote. When a woman has trouble letting go of anger or rage, it's often because she's using rage to empower herself. Pretty interesting, huh? Yeah. And something else that she wrote was, the angst and torment of times rise up in the psyche on a cyclical basis. Although a deep purging discharges most of the archaic hurt and rage, the residue can never completely be swept clear. Very interesting, huh? I thought it was. I really did. I have something else that she wrote that I thought I would like to share too. First of all, I'm going to talk about the first part, about alone, the word alone, okay? Her name was Clarissa, oh boy, well, brain fart, can't remember the last name. Started with a P, I believe. But it was Clarissa. If I get a chance, the next one, I promise I will have the book. I know the book is in one of those rooms in there, and it's right out. I can go get it. Okay. Alone. Now, she says, aloneness in the oldest sense of the word. Long ago, the word alone was treated as two words, all one. To be all one meant to be wholly one. W-H-O-L-L-Y. Holy one, not holy, like he's a holy priest. Nothing like that. But holy, like you're complete. Okay? So, to be meant to be wholly one, to be in oneness, either essentially or temporarily. That is precisely the goal of solitude, to be all one. Now, I wrote some stuff about this, but then later on, in her thing about alone, her writings of it, she says renewal, reborn, cannot occur without aloneness or solitude. Quite interesting. I truly agree with that. I really do. If you can be happy with yourself and not be dependent upon anyone else for your happiness, you've come a long way. And I'm not giving myself kudos here, but I am happy. In fact, my family would tell you that they've never seen me so happy. After my son passed away 3 years ago, I couldn't bear to continue to live in the area that I raised him. And my physical problems were just too severe during the winter time. I just could not take it. So I moved away, and I moved far away. And I moved to the warm part of the world. Well, in doing that, I definitely am away from everybody. And being as disabled as I am, or challenged, I don't like the word disabled. I like the word challenged. That's what I like, challenged. And being so challenged, it's very difficult for me to go anywhere and even go to a baseball game or go to, some form of entertainment. I have to be in a certain position in the wheelchair in order for me to handle it. And then not only that, if it lasts any lengthy time, I have to have someone there that can fix a wheelchair and rearrange it a little bit for me. So I am dependent on help when I go places. It's not that I can't go. It's just that when I do, it requires extra equipment and it requires people to help me. I'm not afraid to ask for help either, believe me. And there was a time when the old ego would not allow me to ask for help. And I put it that way for a reason. One of these other times, we'll get into that, because we're moving along on time right now. But I think it's important for people to understand that, no, I'm not married, and I don't intend to be married. If that were to happen, that poor man, if it was a man, would certainly have his hands full. And I would hate to do that to somebody. I really would. But, there is a but. On the other hand, I'm not saying that I would totally discount any possibility of that. Plenty of challenged people are married. And plenty of challenged people get married and to each other. So, we don't know the future. My motto is one day at a time. But the one thing that I am very happy about is that I have found the meaning of this. I truly understand. I truly live that kind of life. Definitely. No doubt about it. So, every now and then, the only thing that truly bothers me, there's just a couple things. I miss my grandchildren. I miss my daughter. And I do talk to them on phone, but it's not the same. And my son, I do cry about him on occasion. It can be just thinking about when he was a little boy and the cute little things that Matt used to do. Or it can be talking about the Army and thinking about when he was such a good soldier. It's pretty tough. He was a wonderful soldier. I'll tell you that right now. On my YouTube, I have the half of the ceremony for his military services. And I didn't put the whole thing up at that time because I couldn't. But today I could. But it'd be a little boring because at the end, the men and women who knew him in the service, they come up and they honor him. He's got his boots and all that there, and they honor him. And I can't remember what it is that they put on the thing in front of the table in front of the boots, but they put something down in honor of him. And some of them are crying, just crying like a baby. And when I see that, it's very difficult. And I could not go to it. My daughter and my ex-husband, his father, they went to it. And I physically could not go there because I cannot fly in planes. But I couldn't have handled it. I could barely handle the funeral at home, let alone go through that. So I just couldn't do it. But anyway, let's not keep on this subject or you'll see me crying right now. You know, someone did tell me, though, when I was at the doctor's office Friday, that, 3 years is not a long time, and how right they are. It has only been 3 years, and in some ways it feels a lot longer, and that's because I miss him so very much. But anyway, sometime I'll do a video about maybe what I have done to try to live with losing the most valuable thing to me, and that is one of my children. Actually, there's more to it than just one child, but I'm not going to get into that right now. But sometime maybe I'll do a video on that and talk about, what not to do versus what is good to do, what helps. Okay, so this was from Women Who Run with the Wolves. Pretty cool, huh? When I read a book or, I don't know, hear a lecture, on a tape or a disc or whatever, if something is said that is very unique or very pertinent to what my life is and how I feel in my life, or what I feel will help me, I write it down. I really do. I write it down, just like I did. And back over here, that was all written from that too. I also do a lot of hey, my brain's going bad again. I also do a lot of writing, on my own. And right now, I'm writing a blog. I don't know if I want to call it a blog or a mini book because it's really getting big. And that's why I've been talking about it for a long time, and truly I am working on it. But it's big. It's long. And there's a reason for it. It's a lot about what needs to change and how we can change it in our world. Not just in our country, in our world. It's just my thoughts on it. Only my thoughts. Observations that I've made. When you do live alone, as I do, I live in a neighborhood full of young people. I'm the oldest one that I know of in this part of the neighborhood. And I have a person over here with three teeny tiny little kids and another person over here with four children. And so I get a lot of information by just listening to those children playing, and a lot of thoughts come to me as I listen. And sometimes, this is a neighborhood. We need to help each other. So sometimes I offer my help since I can't really do that much outside of the house. I can help keep an eye on some of the younger children when they're outside. So I have offered my services, and I just hope that they were taken in the right way. So anyway, but what I'm writing about, what has influenced me tremendously, has been my own daughter, myself, the way that I raise my children, the people that I live near, and, people that I know. All of that is influencing what I'm writing about. And I hope that it will be taken with interest. It'll be long. I can tell you that right now. It's not going to be small. It will be long. It already is. So, can't help it. I'm not going to cut it off just because people don't want to read something that's over a page long. I'm just not going to do it. And so if it turns into a little mini book, then that's what it will become. But anyway, I do hope that people read it when I get done with it, because I've worked hard on it. And I've done a lot of research. I'm a research queen, let me tell you. All the other blogs I've written, I researched unbelievably for it. Some of them were political blogs too. Okay, getting back to all this. Now, the last time I shared, as I said, it was on the love and light thing. I always end with love and light. And the reason for that is because I do love everyone. I make myself love you because it helps me to love you. And the light is within both of us. So love and light. I'm sharing my light with your light. And that's what it's all about. All right. Now, fortunately, oh goodness. Well, I hate to say it, but I kind of went a little long on this one. How about if I take about 5 minutes? Let's see if I can get this read in 5 minutes, okay? Let me just see. Okay, let's see where we're at. Well, let's see. The last time I read this is Emmett Fox's Sermon on the Mount, The Key to Success in Life. Sorry about that. Okay, and I'm sure I read this about like begets like is another way of stating the great law, which means that as a man soweth in his unseen thoughts, so shall he reap all that which is seen. All things work together for good to those who love good. And to love good means to occupy oneself with thoughts of good. Now, what have we been talking about? Love and light. You can't be in the light and you can't have love unless you're being occupied with thoughts of good. I guarantee you that. So, I know. I've seen it. I have been there on the other side. Trust me. Been there, done it. Don't want to do it again. I'm on this side now, thank you. Okay, let's see. Trying to find something really cool here before I say goodbye. Here we go. Alright. This is about righteousness, okay? It's one of the Beatitudes, and it's about righteousness. Okay, now, and he talks about the task of achieving harmonious thinking, okay, or true righteousness. Righteousness and harmonious thinking are one and the same. And he says that trying to achieve it, the task of doing it, thinking, or true righteousness, is than appears at first sight. It's much bigger than it appears at first sight. Alright. For this reason, many people become discouraged with themselves and indulge in a great deal of self-condemnation because they do not very speedily change the whole current of thought over the whole area of their lives. Destroy the old Adam, as Paul says, in a very short time. This, of course, is a capital mistake, and incidentally, self-condemnation, being an essentially negative and therefore unrighteous thought, tends to produce still more trouble. In the old vicious circle, if you're not progressing as fast as you wish to, the remedy is to be still, more careful, to hold only harmonious thoughts. Okay, I'm not going to go any further because I'll tell you why. That statement matches what I talked to you about in the last video. When I told you to go to the mirror and tell yourself how beautiful you were and that you were loved, that I am loved today. It doesn't matter if you've got to do it every day of your life, but try it. What is it going to hurt? Just try it. Well, I'm going to stop there, and I wish I could have read more, but it is 44 minutes, and that's a long time. I love you all. I'm going to let it go for now, and I will talk to you soon, I promise, if you want me to. Bye-bye.